All of you, welcome back once again. In this video, we'll try to understand the supply chain management project we have built on our channel. Many of you have asked me that is this project still relevant because recently there is an update in the Node version, and due to that some of you are facing the problem with hard hat. So in this video, I'll show you both the way that how you can execute this entire project in your local environment. So how you can deploy the contract to the test network and simply build this one is absolutely one of the project which you have to include in your portfolio. So I hope you guys have watched the complete project. This project is quite huge, so I would suggest you to follow the complete project. So here I have opened my code editor, and this is what we have coded together in the project. So this is the artifact. I'll talk about that. This is the cache. This is the component in that we have built all of this component together. All of this. We have the index. Here we have imported that. We have the context. We have the contract, images, pages, public, script. This is a starter file which I have already provided to you. So make sure to download the starter file and follow the project. Here we have the style, test, and here we are simply testing our project first in our local environment using hard hat, and then we're going to move. For those of you who don't want to use hard hat, we're going to use to the Polygon test network for testing, and we are using the Tailwind CSS. So no matter when you are watching this project after 10 years, after 20, after 50 years, you have to make sure to install the exact version. As long as you install the exact version, is going to work absolutely fine. If you don't install exact version, it's going to create a problem. Here you have noticed that we are using hard hat this particular version, and here we have this Nomic Foundation hard hat version. So this two version is only compatible with Node, this particular version. So if I type node -v, so this particular version is only compatible with hard hat right now. But if you want to use the upgraded version of Node, and right now this hard hat is not compatible, maybe in future they can make it compatible, but I'll show you the other way. Like you can deploy the contract in the Polygon, and from there you can interact where you don't need to use the hard hat at all. So first let's test the hard hat. After that, we're going to move to the test network. So when you are not using hard hat, make sure to remove this two folder, this package and this package. Otherwise, the installation will not work. So I'm using this particular node, so it will work absolutely fine. So the very first thing we have to do, once you will get the source code, simply type npm install and hit enter. It's going to install all of these packages. We'll have no issue because I'm using this specific node version, and right now hard hat is compatible with that node. So just wait, it's going to install that in few seconds. And once we're done with that, we're going to simply test this out in our localhost. And here you can see we have successfully installed the packages. Now all you have to do is to simply clear up your terminal, and now we have to start our local blockchain. So simply split your terminal and simply type this particular command, npx hard hat node. This will start the local node in your system, and it will give you 20 plus account. So by default, hard hat use the very first account. So it gave you 20 plus account, and hard hat will use this very first account to deploy the contract. So when we'll deploy the contract in our local environment, hard hat will use this, and each account has 10,000 ether. So if you want to use any one of these account, simply copy the address and come back to the browser, and make sure if you're using hard node version 20, then hard hat will not work. You have a other method which I'm going to show you. So click on this MetaMask. Make sure you have to do the configuration of your localhost. So you can see I have already done the configuration. In case if you don't have the configuration, click on this add network. It's going to open the MetaMask. You can see this is here you will find all the network which you want to use, and here I have already done the configuration. So click on this network, and you can see this is the exact configuration you have to do. This is the exact configuration you have to do. This is the information you have to provide and save it. And you can call whatever name you want to give. I'll call this hard hat host 8545 and save the network. You can do it from here as well. Like you can click here, add network, add a network manually, and it's going to open this, and you can provide all the details which I show you. So make sure to add. Once you add, make sure to simply connect with that. Click here and it's going to connect. And right now you can see that I have this much 10,000 fake ETH. So this ETH is getting by hard hat. So you can see these are the addresses which hard hat provide you. And if you want to import, I have already done the import. So this is the account I have import, which you can see right up here, and that's the font is available. So if you want to import, click here, click on this add, click on this import account and paste the address, click on import, and I have already done the import, so that's why it's throwing me this error. But in your case, you won't have an issue. Right now I have this much font. The moment I will deploy the contract, it's going to reduce. So if I come back here, let me type the deploy script. So this is the exact script you have to type. Let me show you. Type npx hard hat run dash dash localhost and script deploy. So we are into the script folder. Inside that we have the deploy, and this is what we are deploying. So we have written this huge contract, we have built different logic, and that's what we are deploying. Simply hit enter, and it's going to give you the artifact and the cache. So these are the two things we'll give you. All you have to do is to simply drag and drop the JSON file. So in this you can see we have this tracking.json, and that's what we need to interact with the contract. So if I come back to the context here, you can see here we have the old one. I'll simply delete that. Again, if you make any modification in the contract, you have to provide the updated API. So simply drag and drop here, and now we are ready to interact with the contract. Again, when you make any changes, after that you deploy the contract, it will generate a new API, and that's what you have to provide, and remove the old one. This is what you have to do. So this is the address we got it. Simply copy that one, come back to this tracking.js, and simply paste the address here. So Harder will give you this exact address when you will deploy your contract, the very first one. So this is the address we got it. Now we are ready to test all of this logic we have built. So simply open up your terminal. Our contract is deployed, and make sure this should be keep running. So first you have to start this local node, then you have to deploy. If you don't start this, it will not work fine. It will not work. The contract will not deploy. So this should be keep running as long as you are testing the entire contract locally. Once you're done with that, simply type npm run dev. This will start the application on localhost 3000. So simply copy this one and paste in your browser. So I'll come back to my browser, close this one. I'm going to open a new tab, and I'm going to click on this localhost because I have already done the configuration and I have saved it. And you can see it's working fine. Automatically it connected with the application. If I can simply log out, so I can click on this, and I can call it logout and reload the page. It will pop up. I can simply pass my password, and I have connected. If I reload, you can see got address, and if I open this MetaMask, and you can see this fund got reduced because we have deployed our contract, and the moment we deploy, we have spent some amount for as a gas fee. So everything's looking pretty fine. Now let's test out the functionality. So the very first thing we have to do is we have to create a campaign, create a tracking. So click on this add tracking. Is going to open this model, and here you have to provide the address of the receiver. So I will go with the same address, my address. You can pick the address of your client. That's the address you have to provide. I can simply paste here. I can pick the date, the delivery time, and I can provide the distance. So I'll go with 45, and I can set the price. So I'll go with 12. Obviously, depending on the distance, is going to provide the price. And I can click on this create shipment. It's going to open this MetaMask, click on this confirm, and it's going to make the transaction. So if I come back here, you can see the transaction got failed. And I wanted to show you this because when you start the application, you have to do one thing whenever you do any changes in your accounts. So when you are running this application on your local environment, first thing you have to clear your MetaMask history, because I have some previous transaction in my MetaMask, and because of that it's getting failed. So first you have to simply clear the history, advance, clear, and now it will work fine. So before you make any transaction, whenever you change your account or whenever you reset your application or start the application, you have to clear your history. Now I can create, click here, give the address, pick the distance. I'll go with this one. I can pick the distance, and I can give the price to 12. Click on this create shipment. It will open up the MetaMask. Click on this confirm, and the transaction went through. Here you can see we got the details. So currently the status is pending. Let's create one more. I can paste, pick the date, 24. This time the distance is going to be 1000. I'll charge, let's say 50 ETH. That's a lot of money. Click on this create shipment, confirm, and the transaction is completed. Now I have to start the shipment. So to start the shipment, we have this particular function. So we'll call start the shipment, get shipment. So if you want to get the information about any shipment, so you can simply click here, and here you have to provide the ID. So the first shipment has ID 1, the second shipment I have ID 2. So I'll say ID 1, make a request, and we got our details. We got a detail because we are storing the data as a form of array. Again, I would suggest you to follow the complete video, because when you follow, you will understand that what logic we have implemented, and on the basis of that you can do the modification as per your requirement. But this is the structure which you have to follow. If I simply downgrade, click here, the data is changing. If I go up, create is changing. So that's how we can get the data of the shipment. Currently you can see you will find all the information, so I can simply close that one. And now let's start the shipment. So I'm going to start this particular one, the very first one. So click on the start shipment. Here you have to provide the address of the receiver. So I'm going to provide this address because that's what I have provided, and here you have to provide the ID. So I'll go with the index to 0. Once I do that, I can click on this get details, or you can say create. Both will work fine. So I can change this to create. Click on this confirm, and here it's completed. You can see it's in transmit. So earlier it was pending, but now it's transmit, and now I have to simply complete that. I want to complete this shipment once it will receive by the client. So I'll come back to this complete shipment, and here I have to again provide the address, and I have to provide the index. Change status to the transaction is, and here you can see the status is delivered. Simply refresh 1 or 2 times because the transaction will take a little bit time because it's happening on the blockchain. So it's delivered. Here you got the timestamp. You can simply convert it into a date or time. So that's how you can use this application. It's absolutely wonderful, and this is kind of business model you have to include when you're working on your portfolio. In that way you will show your understanding to your users, to your HR, that you have the skills to build this kind of complex business structure on the decentralized space. So I believe that now you guys know that how you can run this application in your local host, local environment using Hard Hat. Now let me show you the other way, that in case of you don't want to use Hard Hat, you want to use Mumbai test network, and you don't want to downgrade your node version, so you have to avoid Hard Hat. So let's tackle that as well. So I'm going to simply close all of this. I'm going to open that one, and I'm going to simply close this one. I'll say clear this one. Do the same thing with this. Stop that one. So we have cleared that one. Now what we have to do is close all of these open folders. This time we're going to use remix ID for deploying our contract to Polygon test network. So that's a very simple one. All you have to do is to click here in the contract, and you need this contract. So simply select all, copy, come back to the browser, open a new tab, go to remix ID. I hope you guys are familiar with the remix ID, that what it is. If you are not, then make sure to check the playlist of my Solidity course, and that we have used this extensively. So this is my workspace, my default workspace. I'm going to create a project in this. So I'm going to click on this contract. Here we have a lot of contract. I'm going to pick any one. So I'm going to test this test. I'm going to select all and remove, and I'm going to paste my contract. You can see our contract is absolutely fine. There is no bug. We have got successfully compiled. Now all you have to do is to simply click on this, and here you have to select this injected provider. But before you do that, you have to make the changes in your MetaMask. So click here, and here you have to switch to the network where you want to deploy the contract. So I'll click here, and I will deploy to my Mumbai. You can pick any network. So I'll switch my account as well, because this is the Hard Hat account, and in that I don't have free MATI which I can use for deployment. So I'll go to my account 1. In that I have a couple of free MATI which I will use for deployment of my contract. So right now you can see it shows 0. I'll come back, go to my account number 6. Maybe I have fund in that. So right now I don't have any fund in here. Go to the account Mumbai and change to account 1. In that I have this fund. Sometimes it takes a little bit time for fetching the fund. So I hope you guys know how to add test network in your MetaMask. If you don't know, let me show you how you can add it. Simply open a new tab, type poly scan Mumbai. This is the main net of Polygon. If you want to add main net, simply click on this button. It will add automatically in your MetaMask. I have already done that, which you can see here. I have already added Polygon in my MetaMask. So Polygon mainnet. And if you want to add the test network, click on this, go to the Mumbai test network, and you will have the same button. So simply click on this button. It's going to add automatically. I have already added. That's why you can see this is the notification I'm getting. Simply close that one. So this is how you can add. Now you need some test MATIs so you can test the contract. So simply type alchemy faucet, click on the very first link, and here you will have bunch of network which you can use to test your contract. So I would suggest you to go with the Mumbai, because if you want to test on Sofali, Gorilla, or any other network, you need to have some real fund in your wallet address. Then you can easily able to get and request for some free Sofali faucet, which you can do. But in case of Polygon, you don't need to have that condition. So simply click on this, open a new tab, and copy this one, and simply paste here and make a request. It will not send because I have just now done the transfer. That's why you can see I have this fund when I was testing. So simply click, it's going to transfer the fund within 1 minute. So once you have the fund reflecting in your wallet address, come back to the remix ID, and now we're ready to deploy. So make sure to pick the account which you want. So I'll go with this particular account, and here you will find the details of that account. When you will click on this injected MetaMask provider, it will fetch the information. Now you can simply deploy that one. So come back here, click on this targeting. That's the only contract I have tracking, and click on this deploy. It's going to open the MetaMask. Just wait. Here we have, and we have to simply confirm the transaction. Click on this confirm, and it's going to make the transaction, and it will give you the instant right up here. So just wait. The transaction is happening, and there is it. The transaction is completed, and here you got the instant of the contract. You can simply interact with the contract right up here. So if you want to test on the polyscan, you can simply copy that. You can come back to the polyscan, go to the test network, and you can simply paste your contract address and hit enter, and it will give you the information about the contract. You have just now deployed 27 seconds ago. So your contract is deployed successfully. So once we have deployed, now all you have to do is to simply copy the address. If you want to interact and create the shipment, all the thing, you can do it right from here, but we have the front end, so we're going to use that. So come back here in the code. Now simply come here, close this one, come back here, and here you have to simply replace your address. The ABI is going to be the same, and this ABI I will provide in the startup file, so you can simply copy from there and paste here. Or whenever you do any changes in your contract, make sure you have to provide the updated ABI. That's the thing you have to keep in mind. But I will provide this ABI for those of you who don't like to use hard hat, so you can get it. Or if you want to use hard hat, then you can simply generate the way I have explained. When you will deploy the contract locally, it will generate the ABI. So we have got the address, and that's the only thing you have to do. Simply close this one, open up your terminal, and simply start the application. Type npm run dev. This time we don't need to run the hard hat local blockchains. Hit enter. It's going to start the application on the localhost 3000. Simply copy this one, and that's what you have to simply paste here. Paste, hit enter, and here we are. Looks pretty fine. Right now, this particular application contract is deployed to the Polygon test network. So I can simply click on this connect wallets, and here it's got connected. If I show you, we are on the Polygon and we have no issue. Now simply reload the page, and now this time you can simply create the shipment. Click on this tracking. Let me get the address. So I can simply copy the same address, paste here, and here I can pick the date, pick the distance. I'll pick that. Let's say that's a lot of money, so I'll take something very 00, because I don't have much fund. You can see I don't have much fund. When I do the transfer, it's going to charge money. So click on this create, and it's going to open the MetaMask. This much money we are transferring. So click on this confirm, and just wait. Here it's saying pending. Soon the transaction will complete, and it will deduct a couple of funds from your wallet. So the transaction is completed, and here we loaded the page, and here we got that. So every single thing is working fine. You can see the price, you can see the kilometer, you can see the date, you can see the receiver address and the sender address. Both are the same. You can provide, when you are actually working on the application in the real world, you have to provide the actual receiver address. That looks pretty fine. If you click here, you can give the ID, and you can simply feed the information about this particular one, all the detail. You can even start the shipment. All you have to do, paste the address and give that ID. Click on this start get, or you can say, so click on this, and here you have to simply confirm, and here is going to call the transaction. You can see it's saying pending. Let's see, is the transaction is still in pending mode? Yes, the transaction is happening. So just wait. Always check your MetaMask for the transaction confirmation. You can display the message to the user that your transaction is happening, that kind of thing, but I'll go like this for the simplicity. I can simply reload the page, and the transaction is completed. You can see the status is changed. If you want to simply complete the shipment, you can simply click here, provide the address, provide the ID, click on this change status, and it's going to open the MetaMask. Simply confirm the transaction, and it's going to reload the page, but here the transaction is not completed. You can simply wait for that transaction to be completed. Or the moment it's happening, you can come back here in the code, and here you can see here we have the function called create, get all shipment, shipment count, complete shipment. You can come back here all the way down, and here we have already done this. So you can simply say await. So this will wait till the transaction is completed. So make sure to add this one, await transaction does wait. This is the one thing which you can add, or you can simply skip. Both are the same. And here the transaction is completed. If you reload the page, you see the change, yesterday's change. Here we got the delivery time. So that's how you can use this application. It's absolutely working fine. I hope you guys have got an idea that how to execute this and why this application and the project is so important for the blockchain developer. Again, I would encourage you, highly encourage you, to complete this entire project, build everything from scratch. Then you will have the real understanding that what logic we have implemented, what is the structure of the business, and then you can easily able to perform and give better interview when you will sit for and explain that this is the project I have included, these are the feature, and this is the specific problem which I'm targeting. So I believe that you guys have got an understanding that how it's work, and you can simply come back to the blockchain coder. This is the course I have recently launched that will teach you every single thing from becoming a blockchain developer from beginner to advanced level. So make sure to check this out. This will teach you a lot of things. In this, we're going to build one of the biggest project, and you're going to have the course on Solidity, and you're going to have a lot of crash courses. And you can come back to the source code section and have a look that what are the projects are available on our channel, which you can simply download the starter file and you can start building. All of these projects you can see it's live on the channel. So simply download the starter file and simply build the complete project. So now you know how to execute this. If you still have any question, any doubt, do let me know in the comment section. I'll definitely try to help you in that. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.